Well, welcome everybody to the second week in our March program talking about Wayne Dyer's movie Ambition to Meaning. And for those of you who haven't seen the movie or weren't here for last week's, Wayne Dyer is a famous fellow, shows up on PBS and written lots of books, and he talks about how to live this happy life. And in the movie, he makes this big point of when we're young, we want to buy cars and get a job and do all this kind of stuff, which he calls ambition. But he says, as we get older, what we really want is to live the life that truly fits us. And he makes this big point about following your bliss, following what will make you feel good. So anyway, last week we talked about what it's like to live by buying a new car and living life according to what society tells you to do, living life according to what other people tell you to do, and why that fails. And this week we're going to talk about what it means to live your own life, or just briefly at any rate. Anyway, and I bring along my little AA chip, which I talk about quite constantly, because on this chip, on one side is the Serenity Prayer, and on the other side it says, "To thine own self be true." And this is fundamental. So AA figured this out. Bill Wilson figured this out. This was the key to living the good life, to be true to yourself, what you truly want, what will truly help you, what will make you feel alive and vital. And people trapped in addictions, they can never be true to themselves because they have one sort of meaning and purpose in their life, and that's getting drugs, using them, and getting more, as well as that exciting, intense lifestyle that's part of the addiction as well. But, I mean, one of the kickers about all this is we don't actually get to choose exactly what we want to do, right? Because everybody is limited by all sorts of reasons. I don't know, some people get a disease, and that limits them. One of the examples I usually give to the fellows here is the example of Christopher Reeve, who had everything. Here's Superman, right? He's an actor, multi-millionaire, got everything going, world famous. He's got literally everything going for him. He's living his perfect life. Then he gets on a polo pony, falls off, and in 1/8 of a second is a quadriplegic. So he's got to face the reality of the situation. And it's not that his life is over, and this is what Christopher Reeve figured out, right? He said, okay, given all this limitation that I have, I can't go out and throw a football around with my son. I mean, it's just not a possibility. But he said, despite all this, then what kind of life can I live where I can be true to myself? And as you all know, his wife said he was a wonderful husband. Apparently he was a wonderful father to their son, and he went around the world raising money for spinal research. So in spite of all these limitations, he found something in his life that was meaningful, that made him feel alive. And so this week's program has some questions for you, and I'm wondering if you've actually had this experience of beginning to live the life that makes you feel good, that makes you feel alive, that makes you feel vital. Or are you living a life that, just we talked about last week, that you're still doing things because of other people? I mean, one of the most common things I hear when I ask people, like, are you going to AA or NA or CA or whatever the other ones? And if they tell me yes, I say, well, why are you going there? And people who are struggling almost always say, well, it keeps my parents off my back, or go down because, I'm supposed to. That's what people in recovery do, or something like that. And the ones who are doing well say they like to go there because they find that this really, truly helps them. At any rate, something to think about. So, again, look at the online program, fill it out, send it back if you're interested in answering the questions, and we'll see you next week.